After spending about 2 months with the DZO Arles Primes, I'm pretty stoked to share this review with you. Now, full disclosure, I reached out to DZO and asked them if I can borrow these lenses to make a review on my channel. They are not sponsoring this video, but we do have a sponsor, and that is Artlist. And make sure you stick around because they're gonna be giving away $100,000, and I'm gonna show you guys how you can potentially win that money. So lately I've been obsessing over lenses. Like recently I did a review on the Blazar Remus anamorphic lenses, and those things are amazing. If you haven't watched that video, I'll leave a link down below in the description. And the reason being is because I feel like we've plateaued when it comes to cameras. Like every camera manufacturer is crushing it right now. And I feel if you really wanna level up your cinematography, lenses are a great way to do that. As a longtime DZO fan, I've always felt like their lenses bring an incredible amount of value for the money, and the DZO Arles Primes are no exception. They mimic the quality that you'd expect from a higher end glass, like for example, like ARRI Signature Primes or even Zeiss Supreme Primes. Now DZO offers two types of kits with the Arles Primes. You have Group A, which are like the more traditional focal ranges of like 25, 35, 50, 75, and 100 millimeters. Then you have Group B, which are more of the unique focal ranges, for example, 14, 21, 40, 135, and 180 millimeters. Now personally, I've fallen in love with the 40 millimeter in Group B. I find that it's like the perfect sweet spot in just about any shooting scenario. In fact, it's the one that I'm using right now to film this A-roll, and I've paired it with the Sony FX3. Regardless of the group, each lens is built with uniform specifications. Now, most of these lenses are offered at a T1.4, which is obviously going to be impressive for low light and any type of challenging shooting environment. When it comes to close focus, these are also very impressive. You got really nice, now I'm not gonna say macro style, but you can get really close, which I really like. Also, the focus wheel, the rotation is buttery smooth, and that's always been the case with DZO lenses. In regards to chromatic aberration, these use a floating lens element, which means like it really helps with chromatic aberration. In fact, like right now, I am wide open at T1.4, and it's pretty much non-existent. Now, in terms of focus breathing, I would say that this is also handled very well. These lenses' focus breathing is really nice, although I will say the 75 millimeter exhibit the most, but it was nothing that I would say would be a deal breaker. Now at T1.4, the image really pops. There's like this perfect balance of sharpness and softness that you really don't get with modern lenses. Like most modern lenses are overly sharp. They look too digital to me. This just has a beautiful fall off. I mean, it's just gorgeous. There's something magical about this that is not overly done. Again, the more I use these lenses, the more I can't stop raving about the image quality. And this is where they really shine. There's just the right amount of character to the image. Like it's not too clean, it's not overly done. The balance between sharpness and that subtle softness just really gives it a film-like quality. Like don't get me wrong, I love the Helios lens, but like at wide open, it's just like too much. I mean, it's okay if that's the look you're going for, but with these like wide open, it's just like perfectly balanced, and it's something that you rarely find when you go wide open on a lens. Now these lenses tend to lean towards the warmer side, which personally I'm a fan because when you film people, skin tones just really pop, and it just looks very lovely. Now they also have this special calibrated blue coating, which actually helps with stray light and also minimize any reflections, but more importantly, it helps with flaring. So when you're filming in really odd lighting conditions, it'll really help minimize any ghosting or reflections. Now, when it comes to distortion, the 14 millimeter does have some slight barrel distortion, and as you go up to the focal ranges all the way up to 180 millimeter, it's actually the opposite. You start getting some pin cushion distortion, which is nothing out of the ordinary. It's pretty standard in these ranges. Something else that you'll notice is that there's some slight vignetting here on the side, and that was actually done by design. So it's not that it doesn't cover full frame, it's just that that's part of the character of these lenses. Now, one thing I don't like about many full frame lenses is that when you use them on a super 35 millimeter camera, you tend to lose all of the character because most of that character on many lenses are on the edges. And when you use a super 35 millimeter camera, it tends to obviously crop in because of the sensor. Now with these lenses, it's actually the opposite. You don't lose any of the character. I was blown away when I used my Komodo X and I was able to get the same image as when I was using the Raptor X. And that's something I really like about these lenses is that no matter what camera I'm using, whether it's super 35 or full frame, you're still gonna get that same image quality, the same character that makes these lenses look amazing. Now here's the crazy part, that a set of 10 lenses like these 5-10 years ago with the same specifications would have easily costed over $100,000. Now let me ask you a question. If you had 100K right now, what would you create? Which leads me to today's video sponsor, Artlist. And I want to tell you guys how they're giving 100K to a visionary creator to make their creative dream a reality. Now, it doesn't matter what type of creator you are, all you need to do is pitch your most wildest, ambitious idea, and if they pick you, they will give you 100K to make it happen. The Artlist 100K fund will begin on September 24th, and you can submit your ideas up until October 24th, so make sure you hurry up and do it as soon as possible. Now, if you're wondering how do you submit your video, it's actually very simple. Record yourself talking about your 100K idea, submit it to your social, but more importantly, tag Artlist and also use hashtag Artlist100K fund. That is it. If you forgot that, don't worry, I've left all directions down below in the description. Now going back to the Arles Primes, the good thing is that they are not 100K, but they were definitely designed with cinema workflows in mind, which means that the build quality is solid, but that also means that they're a bit heavy. So for run and gun filmmaking, I would say they are not ideal. However, in a controlled environment, they are fantastic. Now these lenses come standard in a PL mount, but can quickly be swapped over to EF. And they were designed with VistaVision coverage in mind, which means if you're using higher end cameras like the Red Raptor VV VistaVision, you're really going to see the true potential of these lenses. So who are these lenses for? Well, I'm gonna say they're for filmmakers looking for high performance without the exorbitant price tag. Now, I gotta say, it's easy to compare these lenses to a higher class like from Arri or Zeiss, but I'm gonna be honest, I feel like these lenses are on a class of their own. Like whatever DZO is doing, whatever they're cooking, they have this like secret sauce, and you know what? I'm not mad. I love that they're able to offer these lenses at an affordable price, because when I film with these lenses, I just love the image that I'm getting out of them. Now, I've switched my methodology 3-4 years ago. We live in a world where every YouTuber is trying to shove a product down your throat. They treat things like they're disposable, and I'd be a hypocrite to say that this video is any different. With that being said, the way I approach things when I buy something, like I'm still using the FX3, this camera is over 3 years old. If I'm gonna buy something and I can't see myself using it for the next 5-10 years, then I'm not buying it. And this is what I was trying to say at the very beginning of the video. I'm obsessing over lenses because cameras have plateaued a very long time ago. Lenses to me, when I look at the character, when I see something, it helps me tell the story the way I envision it. With that said, if you're looking for cinema glass that has incredible character, performance, and affordability, honestly, the DZO Arles Primes are pretty damn amazing. My name is Armando. Thanks again for watching, and you will catch me in the next one. Adios.